Picture this exact scenario taking place in your kitchen right now. A fresh, firm, heavy onion sits directly on your wooden chopping board. Reaching for a sharp, heavy chef's knife, a swift downward slice removes the tough root. The dry stem gets chopped off and pushed aside immediately. Fingers quickly peel away that dry, papery brown outer layer. It makes a crisp, rustling sound as it separates from the pale flesh beneath. Straight into the kitchen rubbish bin it goes without a second thought. Every single time a savory family meal is prepared, this identical, mindless ritual takes place in millions of homes. Stop right there. Look very closely at the biological treasure currently sitting amongst your kitchen rubbish. This daily habit is the exact equivalent of buying a heavy steel safe packed entirely with solid gold bars. Imagine tossing that gold directly into a muddy river and then proceeding to eat the empty metal safe. That papery, seemingly useless brown or red skin holds incredible untapped value. It contains up to 48 times more active antioxidants than the crisp, juicy white onion flesh itself. Nature saturated this outer layer with a highly dense, scientifically backed compound called quercetin. Clinical researchers have observed this incredible compound under microscopes for decades. They monitor its remarkable ability to cleanly out aging, tired, dysfunctional cells in the human body. Think of quercetin as a microscopic, highly efficient street sweeper constantly patrolling your bloodstream. It diligently sweeps away the cellular debris that slows you down and clouds your mind. Elders living in remote, long-living regions of the world instinctively utilize this exact plant material in their traditional cooking. Decades of ancestral wisdom taught them never to discard the most potent part of the harvest. Not a single scrap of the valuable plant is wasted in their kitchens. But I completely understand why this outer layer gets thrown away in modern homes. Nature made this protective envelope incredibly tough for a reason. Trying to chew a piece of raw onion skin feels exactly like eating a piece of dry, brittle cardboard. Human stomachs simply lack the specialized digestive enzymes required to break down raw, rigid plant fiber. Consequently, those few people who actually discover this nutritional secret usually resort to boiling the skins in water. They assume prolonged heat and boiling water will gently coax the hidden nutrients out. That innocent mistake completely destroys the active compound. Stay with me. In just a few minutes, I will reveal a specific 5-minute dry roasting method. It completely shatters this microscopic plant armor using simple thermal physics. This technique preserves 100% of the gut-supporting benefits while causing zero digestive pain. Let us look directly at the biological target of this powerful compound. Over the decades, the delicate lining of your digestive tract becomes severely irritated. Modern diets take a massive cumulative toll on this hidden biological system. Chronic daily stress constantly weakens your internal resilience from the moment you wake up. Hidden chemical preservatives found in everyday packaged foods constantly batter your digestion from the inside out. Visualize your intestinal wall acting as a remarkably fine, microscopic sieve. It is perfectly designed to let only pure, broken-down nutrients pass safely through into your blood. But when systemic inflammation sets in, the physical structure of this barrier changes drastically. This deep irritation is often driven by decades of consuming highly processed seed oils hidden in restaurant meals. Eating refined, sugary carbohydrates worsens the situation exponentially every single day. The tiny structural holes in your vital digestive sieve begin to stretch and expand unnaturally. Undigested food particles suddenly leak directly into your bloodstream where they do not belong. Rogue bacterial toxins slip right through the widened gaps and trigger biological alarms. Doctors call this silent damaging process intestinal permeability. It triggers a massive system-wide immune response because your body panics. The physical results are entirely miserable for your daily quality of life. You experience unexplained chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix. Hitting a brick wall at 2 in the afternoon becomes a daily unavoidable struggle.
Sudden sharp joint stiffness makes rolling out of bed in the morning feel like a monumental chore. Persistent brain fog ruins your daily focus and steals your mental sharpness. Walking into a room and entirely forgetting why you went there becomes frustratingly common. This is exactly where the discarded onion skin steps in to offer profound help. Quercetin acts as a highly intelligent, targeted biological plaster. It actively seeks out those microscopic tears in your battered digestive wall. Rapidly cooling the deep burning irritation, it tightly seals the damaged tissue. This powerful action allows your body to repair the crucial barrier naturally and efficiently. No harsh synthetic chemicals are needed to initiate this healing sequence. Just profound, natural relief delivered straight from the scraps on your chopping board. So the potent compounds hidden in onion skin actively seal the damaged gut wall. But if you assume your daily digestion is the only bodily system affected by this process, you are entirely mistaken.
A much quieter, far more dangerous crisis unfolds directly inside your system if you prepare this ingredient the wrong way. To understand this cascading failure, we must look at a fascinating biological paradox. An onion grows this incredibly tough, papery outer skin for one specific evolutionary reason. It serves as a formidable chemical shield against a highly hostile natural world. The plant is perfectly designed to survive freezing ground frosts in the deep, dark winter. Heavy, punishing spring rains bounce right off its water-resistant surface. Hungry soil pests like microscopic nematodes are aggressively repelled by its chemical defenses. Taking a bite of that skin delivers a mouthful of burning, bitter deterrent to any hungry insect. It is pure, concentrated biological armor forged over thousands of years of evolution. Most people mistakenly believe the juicy, pungent white flesh is the ultimate nutritional prize. It is absolutely not. That white flesh is composed predominantly of simple water and basic sugary carbohydrates meant to feed the growing sprout. The dry, discarded skin holds the truly dense, complex, life-protecting compounds. Furthermore, this outer layer is heavily loaded with highly specialized plant fibers. Consider these specific fibers as premium, high-grade fertilizer for your internal ecosystem. They are specifically designed for the beneficial bacteria residing deep in your colon. When properly prepared, these prebiotics feed your internal microbiome beautifully and efficiently. Your well-fed microbiome then produces active, beneficial short-chain fatty acids. These specific compounds actively support the fluid in your joints, the clarity of your brain, and the rhythm of your heart. But if consumed unprepared, these exact same fibers become highly dangerous. They act like thousands of tiny, dry sponges traveling slowly through your intestines. Because their tough cellular walls remain unbroken by proper preparation, they rapidly soak up surrounding water. They pull vital moisture away from your delicate digestive tract. Moving sluggishly into the dark, warm environment of your lower gut, severe trouble begins. They begin fermenting wildly and uncontrollably. Massive amounts of trapped gas are produced almost instantly by confused gut bacteria. This causes severe, painful bloating and highly uncomfortable abdominal distension that ruins your evening. Pay close attention right here. This is exactly where the majority of well-intentioned health seekers get it completely wrong. They try to do the right thing for their bodies. Instead, they end up in physical agony, clutching their stomachs after dinner. The classic, widely circulated advice found on the internet is incredibly misleading. People are told to simply throw handfuls of saved onion skins directly into a simmering soup broth. They boil them alongside chicken bones, celery, and carrots for hours on end. Absolute nonsense. Boiling certainly extracts a tiny, almost negligible fraction of the available nutrients. It turns the soup water a pleasant, rich, golden color that looks incredibly healthy. However, subjecting these delicate plant compounds to a rolling, aggressive boil for prolonged periods systematically degrades them. The extreme, sustained heat literally cooks the life out of the active ingredients. It shatters the vital structural bonds that make quercetin so highly effective. You are left drinking dead, inactive plant matter. More importantly,
you must understand exactly how this specific compound travels through the human body. Quercetin is largely fat-soluble by its very chemical nature. It is not highly water-soluble at all, meaning it repels plain liquid. Boiling this papery skin in plain, watery broth means leaving roughly 70% of the active compounds trapped. They stay locked securely inside the tough, unyielding plant matrix. Drinking a subtly flavored broth might feel deeply comforting on a cold winter evening. You truly believe you are consuming a powerful, rejuvenating health booster. You are completely mistaken. The actual active power stays completely locked in the discarded waste sitting at the bottom of the soup pot. Put a plus in the comments if you have always believed this common boiling myth, or a minus if you already knew it. So, plain boiling completely wastes the valuable quercetin, but wait until you see the absolute chaos that ensues when you combine these potent onion extracts with a remarkably common daily beverage. It instantly turns a powerful gut supporter into a severe digestive nightmare that can last for days. Consider the real daily life of an older gentleman named Arthur. He is a 62-year-old former builder dealing with the physical aftermath of his demanding career. Recently, he started drinking steeped onion skin tea every single morning. He did this specifically to ease his aching, stiff knees after decades of hard physical labor on construction sites. Every single morning at 6 o'clock, he drank his homemade bitter brew. He desperately hoped for natural relief from the persistent throbbing in his joints, but he immediately chased this experimental tea with a large, strong cup of dark roast coffee. Within a single week, his stomach was tied in agonizing, unrelenting knots. His daily joint stiffness actually worsened significantly instead of improving as he had hoped. The intense tannins found abundantly in coffee and traditional black tea are the hidden culprits.
Tannins are another form of plant defense mechanism designed to make leaves taste bitter to grazing animals. They bind aggressively to the delicate, beneficial compounds present in the onion skin. This intense trauma happens the exact second the two distinct liquids meet in your warm stomach. The combination instantly creates a heavy, completely insoluble molecular mass. It sits right at the bottom of the stomach like a lead weight. Imagine pouring thick, heavy, wet quicksand directly over your active digestive enzymes. The crucial nutrients get locked up tight in an unbreakable chemical cage. Your body simply cannot muster the chemical force required to break this cage apart. The compounds pass entirely through your digestive tract, completely unabsorbed and unused. They leave you heavily bloated, highly uncomfortable, and utterly exhausted by mid-morning. Have you ever caught a supermarket tricking you with fake health labels? Tell me below. To avoid Arthur's painful, easily preventable mistake, you must maintain a strict fasting window. Keep exactly 2 hours between consuming any form of onion skin preparation and drinking your daily coffee or black tea. While your stomach desperately struggles to untangle that heavy, tannin-bound mass, your bloodstream is suddenly deprived. It misses out on the exact biological compound it desperately needs to repair your cells. Remember the highly specific roasting method promised at the very beginning of our conversation? To make that thermal method actually work inside your complex human body, a distinct biological key is strictly required. Quercetin absolutely loves dietary fat. It actively repels plain water, acting much like a drop of oil floating on a puddle. The protective outer walls of your own intestinal cells are essentially constructed of a lipid bilayer, which is dietary fat. Without the active presence of dietary fat in your meal, this powerful water-repelling compound simply bounces off. It cannot penetrate the rigid cellular structure of your gut lining. Passing right through your internal system, it ends up in the toilet, completely useless and entirely wasted. Think of high-quality dietary fat as an exclusive VIP pass to a highly restricted elite club. It smoothly unlocks the rigid cellular doors. This pass grants the quercetin direct, unimpeded access straight into your circulating bloodstream. That is where the real systemic support finally begins to take remarkable effect.
Always pair your carefully prepared onion skins with a high-quality natural fat source. Using a few generous drops of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil works absolute wonders. Add a small, rich pat of grass-fed butter to your warm roasted vegetables.
Mash up a beautifully ripe, creamy piece of avocado alongside your meal. These natural fats act as the perfect, seamless delivery vehicle for the active plant compounds. Real natural products are becoming increasingly hard to find in modern grocery stores. What city are you watching from, and what does good olive oil cost there? So, fat serves as the ultimate VIP pass for deep, effective cellular absorption. But even with the absolute highest quality fat available on the market, there is a massive catch. If the plant's formidable structural armor is not broken down first, the entire effort is entirely useless. This brings us directly to the single biggest, most consequential kitchen mistake made every single time a meal is cooked. The ultimate scientifically sound method to unlock this papery vault is rapid dry roasting. Subjecting the completely dry skins to sudden, intense dry heat creates a massive temperature shock. This extreme thermal stress causes the microscopic moisture trapped inside the cell walls to expand violently. It microfractures the incredibly rigid plant bonds from the inside out, shattering the tough fibers perfectly. It makes the nutrients highly bioavailable. Crucially, it does this without washing any of the delicate nutrients away in a useless watery broth. Imagine taking a heavy steel hammer and violently shattering a thick glass vault. You perform this aggressive action so you can finally reach the priceless treasure locked safely inside. It miraculously transforms a tough, inedible, papery skin into a highly brittle, easily digestible material. The result is a nutrient-dense powder that your body can actually recognize and utilize. By the way, do you store your fresh onions in the fridge or on the counter? Let's debate in the comments. Here is the exact fail-safe protocol you must follow to achieve this transformation. First, gently wash and thoroughly dry a generous handful of organic onion skins. Using either deep red or standard brown onions works perfectly for this specific method. Ensure absolutely no surface moisture remains on the skins whatsoever before proceeding. Even a single drop of lingering water will ruin the roasting process by creating unwanted steam. Place them completely flat in a single even layer on a dry metal baking tray. Do not use glass or ceramic dishes for this specific rapid heat process. Absolutely no cooking oil or butter should be added at this early stage. Introducing oil now will cause the delicate skins to fry, smoke, and burn instantly. Roast them safely in a fully preheated standard kitchen oven. Set the temperature dial to exactly 160 degrees Celsius. For those using imperial measurements, that is 320 degrees Fahrenheit.
Leave them exposed to the dry heat for precisely 5 to 7 minutes, depending on your oven's strength. Watch them incredibly closely through the glass oven door to prevent any accidents. They must become highly brittle to the touch. The outer edges will begin to curl up slightly as the structure changes. They will naturally become slightly darkened in overall color, but never let them burn or turn completely black under any circumstances. Burning organic matter creates harmful, toxic compounds that actively damage your delicate internal cells. Once they are perfectly brittle and dry, remove the metal tray from the oven. Let the hot skins cool completely at room temperature for at least 2 minutes. Finally, crush these fragile, roasted skins into a remarkably fine dust-like powder. You can easily achieve this using your bare hands, simply rubbing them together briskly over a clean glass bowl. Alternatively, use a traditional heavy stone mortar and pestle to grind them down completely. So, dry roasting effectively shatters the microscopic vault and frees the quercetin. But how on earth do you actually consume this intense, concentrated dry powder? You certainly do not want it tasting exactly like dry, bitter ash in your mouth. The culinary answer is much simpler and far more delicious than you might initially think. Do not make the foolish mistake of eating this potent powder raw by the spoonful. It is a highly active, dense concentrate that commands absolute culinary respect. Instead, take exactly half a teaspoon of this freshly roasted onion skin powder. Sprinkle it lightly and evenly over a large tray of warm oven-roasted root vegetables right before serving dinner. The warm olive oil coating the vegetables instantly activates the dry powder upon contact. Alternatively, mix it thoroughly into a rich, tangy, homemade salad vinaigrette. Whisk together extra virgin olive oil, a dash of raw apple cider vinegar, and a small pinch of mustard. This instantly provides the crucial fat catalyst required for optimal cellular absorption. You could even stir it deeply into a savory, full-fat Greek yogurt dip for an afternoon snack. Add some freshly crushed garlic and finely diced cucumber to complete the delicious mix. Serve this alongside your evening meal to boost your daily antioxidant intake effortlessly. You can also blend this powerful powder into a rich, warm cup of traditional bone broth. Do this just before drinking, never during the long boiling process. Ensure there is a highly visible layer of natural fat floating on top of the warm broth. This floating fat acts as the perfect vehicle, carrying the quercetin directly into your waiting system.
Sprinkling a tiny, almost invisible pinch over buttered scrambled eggs in the morning works brilliantly too. The culinary possibilities in your home kitchen are vast and highly adaptable. But the golden rule of preparation remains exactly the same every single time. Always combine the roasted powder with a healthy, high-quality dietary fat. Never boil the raw skins directly in plain water, hoping for a miracle tea. Keep the finished powder far away from your morning coffee or highly tannic black tea. If this simple 5-minute roasting routine is adopted, your household kitchen waste is drastically reduced. You save money every single week by maximizing your grocery purchases. More importantly, your delicate gut lining receives a powerful daily protective biological shield. It defends fiercely against the harsh, unavoidable realities of modern processed food. Your daily digestion will finally settle down into a comfortable, predictable rhythm. Chronic, painful bloating experienced after heavy meals will noticeably and rapidly reduce. A renewed sense of physical vigor will slowly return to your stiff, aching joints. This happens because systemic, invisible irritation drops significantly across your entire body. Your humble kitchen is actually a fully stocked, highly potent natural pharmacy. Stop treating it like a mindless rubbish bin for valuable plant materials. Start treating it exactly like the powerful, life-enhancing resource it truly is. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their explicit professional consent.